Welcome to the Longevity Channel. I'm your host, Helen Hansen, and our topic of discussion today is skin health. Chatting with us and sharing their insights on this subject is Dr. Arien Van Der Merwe, who's a holistic medical doctor. Welcome, Arien.
Hello, good to be here.
Lovely to have you with us again. And then we have Dr. James Liddell, who is an integrative doctor. Hello, James, and welcome to this webinar.
Hi, Helen, and thank you to be on this panel today.
We have Chad Cupido, our yogi and entrepreneur. Welcome, Chad.
Namaste, everyone. I hope you all are well, and I'm very excited to be here with you guys today.
Namaste, Chad. And welcome to Shearer, who is a best-selling author and speaker on nutrition and healthy living.
Helen, I'm so glad to be here with you today.
Behind the scenes, we have talented Anne Merritt, who has made this recording possible and has her own marketing company and has had for 23 years now. And she can help you get your product and services to your online market. So please do contact her to fulfill these needs of yours. Before we dive in, let's just have a quick look at the agenda for this webinar so you can see what is coming up and all the exciting elements and topics we're going to be covering. So we're going to start with an overview of the skin, and Dr. Arien is going to be sharing with us the medical information of the background, what is the skin about, and how does it work. Then Dr. James Liddell is going to be sharing with us 2 of his 5-step formula for a youthful skin for anti-aging. And he'll be coming back in a little bit later to share the other 3 steps. After James, we're going to be chatting with Chad about movement and breathing for the skin. And Chad has got some wonderful practical exercises that he'll be sharing with us. Shearer will be sharing some natural remedies for home facials. I will be chatting about emotions in the skin, and also Anne will be sharing her expertise on nutrition for the skin. Moving from there, still on nutrition, Chad is going to be talking to us about plant-based eating, which is his speciality. And then Dr. James will be coming back and chatting about antioxidants and bio-photonics, as well as blue light. Been hearing a lot about that in the media lately. We're going to be ending off with an inspirational message, but just before that, please do stay to the end to listen to very important questions so that you can stand a chance of winning some of our wellness prizes. So we're going to be also sharing with you an exciting new longevity event that is going to be launched at the end of September. And you have the opportunity of winning a ticket to this event. The question will be asked at the end of the webinar, and added to that, we've got some other wonderful wellness prizes, a subscription to Odyssey magazine. Dr. James Liddell is going to be giving away some antioxidant scans. Anne is giving a 500 Rand shopping voucher for her online shop. Dr. Arien is sharing her wellness course valued at 3,000 Rand. We have a live blood analysis from Health Hub. And then from Balance, we've got the acne treatment pack. And just to mention the longevity event experience, the free ticket that's going to be given away in our competition is actually sponsored by Chad. So thank you to all of our speakers and other sponsors who have made this webinar possible. Now, let's focus on the reason why we're all here, which is, of course, the skin. So the skin, being our largest organ, can be complex, but also full of valuable information about one's holistic self. In order to understand the skin we're in, let's start with the overview. And for that, we turn to Dr. Arien. So Arien, you've been in the natural healing field since 1995. Can you please just briefly discuss with us the functions of the skin?
Yes, thank you very much, Helen, and for all the arrangements, and it's wonderful to be here. So I'm quite excited, and in 1995, I was so fed up with mainstream medicine and just treating symptoms that I nearly opened a coffee shop. So fortunately, through very well, sort of synchronicities, I then got onto the road of natural medicine, which is literally what I've been doing for 25 years. So without further ado, I think I'll go into the presentation, and anybody who would like to read more about what I do, they can always go also to the website. So let me start with the presentation. Right, so as we know, we can actually see the skin from the outside, and we forget that the skin sort of encompasses actually the whole body, but by itself it is the largest organ. And I think all the speakers today, our topic's going to be around how do we care holistically and integratively for our skin, and of course for the whole body, because everything responds like an orchestra with a lovely conductor organizing everything, which is basically our mind, or more even than mind, what we often think as brain. We extend the mind into consciousness. So that's also very important for us to, to understand the skin. So just a very short overview of the top layer of the layers of the epidermis. So that is literally the surface of the skin, where if you scrape yourself, you would just take off the epidermis. Now, if you look at that, it's like a cross section looking at it from the side, and there you see the top where it says the desquamating cell. That's the stuff that will come off. And then just below that is another part of that where it's still sort of stuck to the skin, and it will, every day we shed skin. And then below that is you can see there are 3 more layers only of the superficial, the epidermis. So everything you put on your skin on the top layer will filter through, because the skin is also very absorbable for oil-based products and some water-based on the really surface layers. But then below all of that, where you see the word dermis, even just above that would be the blood vessels, arteries and veins. And those are the ones that we actually also want to get the food and whatever we put on our skin from inside out and then from outside in, so that it can benefit the whole body. So if we look at that, then the skin and the rest of the body are completely inseparable. So you would start with the brain, and that's again to do with what we think and how we feel, and then what we eat. And we can see there an example, that kind of food, would it be healthy or not? So you can actually answer that for yourself. And that goes into the digestive system. But from the brain itself also goes through there. And then that also depends on what is absorbed through the microvilli, the little like hair-like pieces that's inside the whole digestive system, is also important. And then that goes through there into the body, and ultimately it has an effect on how well our skin looks, how well we age, how well we recover, and just in general, do we look healthy, or is the skin showing us that there is something not in balance in the body? So that's important for me from a medical doctor perspective. A skin can tell us a lot about what a person's general condition and their mindset, how do they feel, just based on the look of their skin. Then very important also is the liver connection, the skin and detox, really important again there, if you've got a liver or a gut health issue, it will show on the skin. Even heart and lungs, there are very specific symptoms and signs that can show on the skin, on the nails, on the mucosa. So if you open the eye like this, or you ask somebody to stick out their tongue, you can see whether they need a proper detox before we even start looking at what are we going to do with the skin. And then also the microbiome is a universe that's in us. We know about the microbiome in the gut, but we have microbiomes actually in every cell. It's the mitochondrial component, but also the probiotics and the bacteria in the gut that must be in balance for the skin also to look well. And then, of course, on our skin, we also have a microbiome that must be in balance. So if you would like to read more about that, please do, because we're just doing an overview, but understanding that that's part of it. Okay, very important. Helen will talk more about it, but I've got to just emphasize stress management as a really important tool to look after the skin and the whole body. So again, I won't go through all of it, but it's important to every single day to look at how can I relax, meditation, for instance, or yoga that Chad will be talking how we are feeling, so that we can adjust that to also benefit our skin. And then herbal health, which we'll also hear more about. So I'm just going to highlight a few basic things. The first one is the hormonal balance, also very important for skin in men and women. So it's not only for women, even though women would often be more aware of the fluctuations in their skin, in their hormone levels, and that will then reflect on the skin. So we look, for instance, at Semicifuga racemosa, which is black cohosh, for hot flushes, wild yam for the progesterone, plant progesterone balance, and Angelica sinensis, which is a hormone balancing herb. Now, this is not only for people who are in menopause, it's also very important for people who have dysmenorrhea or painful period, people who've got acne, or they get certain infections or skin conditions like lupus that would show over their nose and under their eyes, that they would be able to use it. Even people with really painful and heavy periods do well within specific days on which they have to use the herbs. So again, lavender, chamomile, rose geranium, orange blossom, to make that each one of each. You don't need all of them in a carrier oil that you can put in your bath water, for instance, or in your skin cream. Very important to use a moisturizer that's also nourishing and natural, so that you don't take in all the toxic stuff that can be in skin products. So for a glowing skin, I just sort of said a greeny pinky ready. So it's to make sure that we take in all the colors of the rainbow, because we need that, especially the bioflavonoids and the other antioxidants that Dr. Liddell will be talking about. But again, the best way, of course, or the easiest way, is to get it all in a smoothie, but keeping as much of the roughish as possible so that you get the fiber in. And sometimes if you do everything in a smoothie, a lot of the fiber or the roughish will be already out or filtered out. So important with that. Then some more skin food. Water is very important, like literally 10, we need about a glass of water for every 10 kilos of body weight. So that is sort of a guidance of how much you need in general. Of course, if it's warmer, you must have more water, and you can have herbal teas, just not coffee or English tea as your water allowance. You may have that, but in digestion, the body uses a lot of the water to just break down or to recover the burnt English tea, which is Camellia sinensis, but it's burnt at the top. And then also with coffee, you need that. But coffee beans have got lots of healing properties. It's just that it doesn't count as your water allowance. But for instance, rooibos tea, green tea, many of the other herbal teas you can use. Then ginkgo biloba, very important for circulation, to get the oxygen and the nutrients to the skin, because ginkgo biloba opens up the peripheral blood vessels, the capillaries, that's right at the end of our circulation system, and it makes sure that enough oxygen and nutrients can penetrate from the inside to the skin at the top. And then ginseng and grapeseed extract, the antioxidants, B vitamins and zinc, omega-3, 6 and 9, and for the skin especially omega-6, the plant oils that we normally get in enough, but also evening primrose oil, and then omega-9 that we would find also in olive oil. It's got omega-9. The fish oil mostly in omega-3, but for the skin I would often prescribe omega-6 for people with eczema. Even with arthritis, you can add some evening primrose oil or starflower oil. Then coenzyme Q10, very important for the skin and the heart actually. And then alpha-lipoic acid. These are just some examples of antioxidants. You'll hear more about that. But then also what we have, what I've actually formulated a whole heart, brain, body support antioxidant with the herbal remedies, everything that's been mentioned before. Calcium and magnesium we need to also take in our basic part of our basic 3, and then our super omega, which is mostly the omega-3. So that's what I call the basic 3 for optimal nutritional support that we take on top of our healthy eating and eating as many of the rainbow colors as we can every single day. Very important also with calcium and magnesium, ratio of 2 to 1 in an amino acid chelate, so the body would think, oh, that's food coming in, because amino acids are the building blocks of protein, like we all know what it is, and our body knows boron and potassium in. There are really good reasons, and you can read about that also on the website. The other one that's really important is that the timeless DNA serum with all the skin nourishment that one can apply. You can use your normal skin products, cleansing, always cleaning your skin, toning, and then the moisturizer. But this after cleaning, a serum, a really good quality natural serum, you can apply, and that sort of prevents the wrinkles and it helps the skin to stay younger. It nourishes and moisturizes it. And then Female Balance has got all the different herbal remedies and micronutrients that one would need for the balance. And we've got a really nice price, that's a nice alliteration, a good price, especially through the Longevity Channel online shop, or then of course, especially for the longevity people who've enrolled in this skin webinar, there's a special TLC discount as well for you on specific products that Helen will tell you more about. Then very important to get into nature, exercise, because that's also how we improve our circulation and its fitness and more oxygen. So that's really good for the skin to get in nature, to ground, to move the body, to dance, to be sociable. Because if we feel literally happy, our skins will also feel happy, and we will see it on the outside. That's often when we see somebody who's in love. Oh, your skin looks wonderful. What are you using? And then it's often that inner emotion that actually causes the skin to glow. And that can happen literally at any age, that we can do a lot of stuff for ourselves in self-care so that our skin really looks the best it can at any age and all ages. And that's my story, to just give you a little bit of an overview. and everybody is going to talk to you about it, so you'll know a lot more about each of the topics that I literally just mentioned to show you what is coming. So in any case, thank you very much for listening, and I hope to speak to you soon.
Thank you so much, Arien. That was a wonderful consolidated view of the skin and how it works, and just understanding the body so much better. You know, I think it's so important we live in our bodies, of course, every moment of every day, but to really understand this first home of ours makes our living experience just so much more valuable. So I personally believe that it's so important to understand the functioning of this being that we're in. So really appreciated that valuable info, and the visuals there just makes it so much easier to understand. And then, as Dr. Arien mentioned, her wonderful products are on our web store, which you can find at www.longevitystore.co.za, and there's a TLC code there you will see that you can make use of. And her supplements really come highly recommended. I use them for my clients as well in my kinesiology practice. You know, I muscle test against people's bodies to find what are the perfect supplements for them. And her supplements are really resonating with many of the clients in my practice. So thank you, Arien, for all the wonderful and caring support that you are giving here on the Longevity channel, and then of course to your patients as well.
Yes, that's a pleasure. It was great.
So, fascinating fact about the skin and workplace discrimination I recently learned from Dr. James Liddell is that the biggest discriminating factor in the workplace is not gender, it's not race, it's your age. Fortunately, James is a specialist in the field of anti-aging, so we are in good hands when we take a look now at natural anti-aging options for the facial skin. James, I know you have a 5-part formula for this, but can we start with 2 of the 5 steps now, and then we'll come back to 3 a little bit later?
Hi, Helen. Absolutely. And I love to share my 5 tips with you to look 5 to 10 years younger. So first of all, we are going to cover the proper cleansing aspect with the LumiSpa. And thereafter, we will use the galvanic current to make you 5 to 10 years younger. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of a demo. So just follow me. I'm taking the LumiSpa and I put some of the cleanser on the LumiSpa. And now I will wet my face. And I'm just going to do the one side because I really want you to see how these beauty devices can make you look younger. So switch on the LumiSpa and gently just move it up and down. So up, let it glide down because you want to pull the face up. You know, the thing is, as we age, you know, the problem is that the skin tends to sag. So if you press and put it up, it will pull the skin up. So the LumiSpa will deeply cleanse, stimulate collagen, and also exfoliate. This is a 30-second cycle, and then we finish the 30-second cycle, and now I'm just going to wipe off the cleanser. And now we are going over and we are going to use the galvanic spa. So first, we make the face wet again, just a bit wet. And now we put on the cleanser.
James, while you're doing that, can I ask you, when you are done, could you show us what is actually happening on the heads of the Lumion galvanic spa, because
Oh,
I,
yes, I will.
I personally use the Lumi Spa, and it's quite incredible, the oscillating head when you see how it moves. And that really, for me, is the beauty of it.
Okay, so I've applied the pre-treatment gel, and I'm going to switch on the galvanic spa now. And just move it gently up and down, and you will hear a beep beep sound. So you now know that the galvanic spa is working. So the galvanic spa with the facial gels can smooth the appearance of the fine lines and wrinkles. It will improve product use on your skin. It will stimulate the muscle in the skin and will pull your skin up and will have a real anti-aging effect. And just more gently up and down, up and down.
Do you feel the current on your skin when you're running that along?
No, you know, it's very gentle. You only hear the beep beep sound, which is a good thing because often people think that the galvanic spa is not working. So purely by the beep beep sound, you know, it is absolutely working, and I am going to look 5 to 10 years younger. And you know, men are also vain. It's not only women that's vain. All right. So now, just wiping off the excess pre-treatment. And now we are going to put on the treatment gel.
So tell me a little bit about galvanic current. What is galvanic current?
So galvanic current work on a positive load and a negative load, and it basically draws the pre-treatment gel into the dermis. And then once you put on the treatment gel is positively charged. So then the galvanic spa drives in the treatment gel into the skin. It binds with the fat and the free radicals and the oils, and then the positive and the negative binds like magnets, and it pulls it out of the skin. And then you have the anti-aging H-lock treatment gel that stays behind in the skin. Now I just want to apply it abundantly. And now I put the galvanic spa on number 2. And then just wet my hand a little bit and start this whole process, and it makes beep beep beep, so you know it is working. And just gently.
So from what you were saying just now, it sounds like this is a natural facelift almost.
This is your alternative for Botox without the nasties, and you can do it in your own home without all the COVID risks, and that goes with that. So you can have a spa experience in your house with any risk involved. So, but if you do use Botox and you use the galvanic spa, your frequency of getting Botox again will lengthen. So you can actually save money. Obviously, I do not promote Botox. I prefer people to do things naturally, because with galvanic current, there is absolutely no nasties. What I want to do is now, I just want to remove this head, because I tend to have a little bit of puffy eyes, and this small head is perfect for the area around your eyes.
James, I think you've got wonderful skin. You know, I see you every now and again in person, and it amazes me the quality of your skin. So what I'd like to know is, how often are you using these treatments?
So I do my Lumi Spa every single day, and then I recommend people to do something like the galvanic at least once a week. So, you know, and the thing is, the Lumi Spa is a 2-minute exercise in the morning that you can do in the shower because it is waterproof and it's rechargeable. And if you do the galvanic, it's maybe a 5-minute exercise over the weekend, which is really not too much. But it takes years off, and you do it in your home. And the thing is, with the Lumi, it's rechargeable, and the galvanic works with battery. So if you have any power outages, you are not affected with it because you can function without Eskom.
That's good to know.
And it's very good to know.
I'm already seeing a difference already in the left and right sides of you.
You will
Chad, can
see.
you notice that?
Dr. James looks younger than me. I'm so jealous.
Oh, thank you, Chad. I'll buy you. Okay, right. So now I'm gonna just wipe a little bit off, and I'm gonna come close to the screen now. Helen, can you see the
Yeah.
difference?
Absolutely.
Can you see that the puffy eye, the puffy eye that I treated is much better than the other eye?
It is.
And just look at the fine lines here; they're basically gone. And look here,
Wow.
this whole section here.
Mm.
People, can you see
Beautifully
that I really
lifted.
look between 5 and 10 years younger?
You do. And that was quick. That was what, 5 minutes?
5 minutes. It is so important for you to look younger in the workplace because that is the biggest discriminating factor. And with these two beauty devices, the Galvanic Spa and the H-Lock Lumi Spa, you can look 5 to 10 years younger in your own home. You can have a spa experience in your own privacy. Now,
James,
Helen,
just quickly show the, yes, thank
yes,
you.
I'm switching the Lumi Spa on, and can you see that there are 2 oscillating heads, and they operate in different directions? So the one is, you know, to open the pores and clean, and the other one is to close it down. The head is made from silicone. It contains silver ion. So after usage, you can just take the head off, rinse it under tap water, and it's hygienically clean. You don't have to use any antibacterials or anything like that. And as I said, you can have a spa experience at home and look 5 to 10 years younger. Thank you, Helen.
Thanks, James. As I said, you know, myself, I use the Lumi Spa, and for me, the incredible thing to see is even after I've cleansed and used a good cloth and you use that device, you can see the toxins that come up that are still there from a deeper layer underneath, which if you didn't use that would have just stayed there. And, you know, imagine that staying there day after month after year. Yeah, rather not imagine that. Of course, along with topical applications, one also needs to look at nourishing the skin from within. So, Chad, you being our yogi on board today, please won't you take us through now a technique or exercise or two that we can use immediately to activate vibrant skin?
Absolutely. The first thing I normally do in the morning when I wake up, I think in the morning movement is the most important thing. So the first thing we do in the morning, it's called sun salutation. And it's not just about the movement that we are doing. It's also about doing that movement when the sun actually comes out. When the sun comes out, it's not hot. It's very gentle on the skin, and it's actually the best form or the best way to get your vitamin D in. So we do a sequence called Surya Namaskar, which is called sun salutation. I'm not going to do the sun salutations, but I'm definitely going to add a link where you guys can see exactly how it's done. But it's a sequence of asana, which is postures that you do. And with that asana, with those postures, you basically open up every single part of the body. It's easy, it's quick. And I normally recommend sun salutations to anyone who wants to try yoga. You can do it, you know, as you get up in the morning. And I normally also do it in the evening when the sun goes down, there's just also for me a beautiful connection that you have with the sun. When the sun comes up, just before it comes up, you can actually gaze at the sun. And sun gazing, they say, is also very, very good. It opens up the body, but also this the shine on the skin is also beautiful. James, there's only one thing that looks better than your skin at the moment is your skin when the sun comes up, you know, just has that vibrant, you know, shine. So yeah, movement's very important, but one thing that we can do right now that I can show you is a breathing exercise. And the breathing exercise is called Kapalbhati. It's actually translated Sanskrit, and it translates to the shiny forehead. And shiny, you want shiny, vibrant, refined skin. So how you do it, I'm going to move back so you can see me. And okay. So what you do, you place normally your left hand on your belly, and you have a long inhale, I would say 2-second inhale. And it's a quick exhale. While doing so, you relax your face as much as possible, and the inhale is a little bit slower than the exhale, but you only focus on the exhale. The inhale comes actually, so you don't have to focus on breathing in, you only focus on the exhale. And basically what that does, it gets a lot of air into the body, and also in a sense it makes the skin radiate. They also say it drains the lymphatic system quite a bit. And yeah, it's an excellent breathing exercise to get some vibrant skin or shiny forehead. Yeah.
Thanks, Chad. I've been doing that a little bit now. And when you said relax the facial muscles, you know, that's always my thing. I feel tension in the jaw and in the facial muscles, and I sometimes struggle to relax that automatically. But I found after doing 3 rounds of this technique, I could feel they started to naturally relax. Everything just
absolutely. If you do meditation as well, they say in a sense you first have to give it a bit of a tense, and after the tense you release. And naturally, in a sense, you start noticing that the skin, the face, it comes to some sort of homeostasis. I don't know if I'm using the right words. The doctors will correct me. But smiling as well, smiling for me, it's very, very important. When smiling, you relax your face. And when you relax your face, you just feel a sense of calm. So I also encourage my students all the time to smile. When I'm doing my yoga classes, for example, I try not to make it as serious, because coming to a yoga class, it's very, very intimidating. You know, some people, they look around and you feel like you're being judged. But when doing yoga, it's only you on your mat, and smiling really, really helps you. It helps you calm down. It helps you focus on your breathing. And when you focus on your breathing, normally it's very difficult to think. When you don't think, you don't feel stress. And when you don't feel stress, you can definitely see it in your face. You can see it on your skin. So yeah, all of these things are so interrelated, and yeah, it's very interesting.
Just remind me the name of this breathing technique again.
It's called Kapalbhati, but it translates to shiny forehead.
Kapalbhati. I'm definitely going to be including Kapalbhati breathing technique into my daily practice. Thank you, Chad. You know, my weekend experience often includes an extended version of yoga and breathing, and also natural home remedies for the skin. I love playing around with all sorts of different concoctions that one finds naturally in the kitchen. And anybody who's around, my mom was around 2 weekends ago, and I got her involved, and I smothered her with turmeric and had a good experiment there. One of my all-time favorites, though, is still egg whites and honey. Leaves your skin feeling amazingly smooth afterwards. And when you do that in a heated bathroom, you can just feel the pores opening and the honey going in. So now I'm wondering, imagine combining that with the Kapalbhati breathing technique, having these amazing natural remedies natural ingredients, that's the word I'm looking for, on your skin, and breathing at the same time to open the pores even more, I think I'm going to try that this weekend.
Absolutely. Also, after your practice, especially breathing practice, it's very important to hydrate, drink as much water as possible, because you are basically opening up your pores, you are draining your lymphatic system, and drinking water just assists with that drainage process. Something that's also very good is juices. I thought that we should just create our own juice, the longevity juice. We can drink it, with a variety of natural, herbal plants. And there's lots that we get in South Africa. As Dr. Arien said, you have wild rosemary, rose geranium, aloe, rooibos. In the Western Cape, we are blessed. We have an abundance of natural herbs and plants and fruits that are also very, very good for the skin. So, a combination of good breathing, good diet, as well as movement. There's no reason why the skin can't radiate, be young, and most importantly, be healthy, serve its purpose.
Absolutely, and just to touch on what you mentioned about water. So in our longevity challenge on Facebook, challenge number 1 for this month was given by Dr. James, and his challenge was drinking 2 liters of water every day. So I found, and that was a good challenge for me, because usually in summer that's how much I would drink, and I suddenly realized during this challenge I'm not drinking that amount anymore because of the cold weather, and that was a good challenge for me to engage in and remind myself of hydrating myself properly on a daily basis. So if you're wanting to partake in our longevity challenge, just a quick note for you, for those of you who haven't joined, who would like to join, it's part of Facebook groups. So just go onto facebook.com/groups and then longevity challenge, and you can join, and all our previous challenges are there, so you can do it at your own time. But moving on now to Mary Ann, and still keeping to our topic of fabulous recipes for the skin. So Mary Ann, I know that you have many recipes, natural recipes, in your health book, or should I say books. You've written many for keeping the skin healthy, hydrated, and happy. So I'd like to find out from you, which of your recipes for the skin are your top 3?
Right, so I'm going to be speaking to you about natural face masks, which is a personal favorite thing of mine. I remember when I was a teenager trying to use all kinds of concoctions from the kitchen to put on my face. My mother made me very conscious of looking after my skin growing up, and so I tried all kinds of things, including mixtures of oats, and then it was such a mess, it was getting onto everything, so I did it in the bath, and then it fell into the bath water and got into every crack and crevice of my body. You can imagine what a mess that was. So I've since discovered there are lots of amazing things that we can put onto our face that will actually help our skin will benefit from them. And probably the first one that I'm going to start with is a natural face mask for eczema. And that is, you can put this on any part of your body, not only on your face, but it helps in every area. It really calms down inflammation, and it's very easy. It's simply 1 tablespoon of oatmeal, 1 teaspoon of raw honey, and 1/2 teaspoon of water. And you combine them together, and what it does is it has a very strong antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, the ingredient, and these help to calm down dry skin and remove dead skin cells, which is important when there is the peeling of the skin. So it's also coupled with an antibacterial honey, and honey is naturally antibacterial. You can use it even on burns and wounds. So it's a great skin soothing treat. You just literally crushing up, you can blend it in a blender. That's actually a great way to do it. And that's one way to not get lumps of oats all over the place. Pop it in your blender, blend it on high speed, take it out, and then just smear it all over your skin. Leave it on for 10 minutes, and then just sit quietly, close your eyes. So often we'll put a mask on and we'll rush around doing all kinds of things. when you're doing a mask, I think it's really important that you actually calm down and meditate. Just think of something amazing that's going on in your life, or think of a beautiful place you've been to, or think of an amazing scripture like Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. That's very calming when you're in a place that's kind of nerve-wracking. But anything that makes you calm down, I mean, if it just means put on some classical music and you listen to the music and you trip out on the music, that's a great thing. It's important when you're doing masks to actually to just calm everything down and be in a contemplative frame of mind. It's a rest. You're giving your body a treatment, and it's like having a massage and jumping up every 5 minutes. You know, it's just going to benefit from the massage in as much as you could. Another one is a mask for chapped lips specifically, and this is quite amazing. It's a combination of half a tablespoon of organic cane sugar and half a tablespoon of raw honey, and you blend those two together, but not in a blender, just with a teaspoon, because you want the sugar to be really rough, and then you rub that onto your lips, and the sugar has a very exfoliating effect. Now, don't eat it, okay? Honey's okay to eat, but don't eat the sugar, because the sugar is not good for your endocrine system. It'll upset your blood sugar and cause all kinds of problems. So refined sugar, and even organic sugar, is good for as an exfoliating. You can put this on your body as well. Your whole body can be exfoliated like this. And you can, if you want, to add a couple of drops of olive oil to that as well. So it gets all those dead skin cells, plumps up your skin very nicely and your lips, and gives you a nice pouty feel. And then I've got a fantastic one here for just inflammation on its own. And this is a fantastic one. I've used this or recommend that people use this on a regular basis. So I recommend 2 tablespoons. This is for inflammation. If your skin is red or angry or hot, or you've got a bit of a rash on it, it's 2 tablespoons of fresh aloe. There's a really good brand on the market made by Forever Living that has got no preservatives in it. So it's 2 tablespoons of the fresh, just the aloe, don't get the peach one or the cranberry one, just the plain 100% pure aloe vera gel, the drinking gel. And to that, you're going to add 1 to 2 teaspoons of barley leaf powder. Now, these 2 products are very, very high in antioxidants, and barley leaf is incredibly high in chlorophyll, which has a very calming effect on the body. It's traditionally green leaves were used to make a poultice to put onto open wounds, like even gunshot wounds and stab wounds and animal bites and all kinds of things. So it's the chlorophyll from that brings about the healing, and you need to kind of really mash that up together. Barley leaf is a powdered juice, so it's already blended. You can literally just stir it into the aloe, so you don't have to put this in your blender. And it's super high, not only in chlorophyll, but something called superoxide dismutase, which is a very powerful antioxidant that has a powerful anti-aging effect on the skin. And what you do is you just add this onto your, you put this on your skin, and again for 10 to 15 minutes until it's dryish. Again, soothing, calm music. You're trying to calm your skin down. Don't be rushing around the house doing 101 things. Just calmly sit down, put your feet up and relax. So 10 to 15 minutes and then remove. People are always asking me for a mask for dry skin, and this is a fantastic one. It really is great, and you can eat it too. So you could lick it off and eat it afterwards. It's entirely up to you. It's your skin. You didn't put it in some weird place. So it's not going to be full of all kinds of bacteria, except the healthy ones, of course. And this is half an avocado, obviously a ripe avocado, mashed with 1 tablespoon of honey. This is fantastic for dry skin. It's full of essential fatty acids, which help to soothe and moisturize the dry skin barrier. And then the honey is a natural hydrator and astringent. So what it does is it actually increases the amount of moisture in your skin, but at the same time makes your pores look smaller. And so it's great. Also, honey is great for treating things like acne or inflammatory skin conditions. And again, 10 minutes to 20 minutes, leave it on as long as you feel comfortable, and then remove it. As I said, it's very edible. You can eat it then. Another great one is for anybody who has dark spots or acne scars on their skin. I've actually got, dark face mask or dark spots on acne skin, or scars from acne, which adults can have or teenagers can have. And here the magical ingredient is turmeric. And turmeric is very high in antioxidants, very natural anti-inflammatory, but it has got the tendency to make your skin go bright yellow. So you must put something that's got oil with it, because that'll prevent you actually, it's staining your skin. So it's 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then you combine that well together and you apply it straight to your body, to your skin. And then again, 10 to 15 minutes in a calm place, and then rinse off, and then your skin should be wonderful and calm. And you should notice, if you do that regularly, you'll notice that pigmentation, acne scars become lighter and lighter. So it's something you would need to do on a regular basis, possibly once a week. And then the last one I'm going to give you is a face mask for oily skin. So what you need for this is half an avocado and a quarter of a cucumber. I would use an English cucumber. It has smaller seeds, so you don't have all these bits in it. And then you blend it on high speed, the avocado and the cucumber. Now this is a super cooling mask. It'll leave your skin feeling very clean and fresh. And cucumber contains a lot of water, which will hydrate the skin if it's dehydrated. You can have an oily skin that's also dehydrated. But what it also does is just calms down the skin magnificently. It really does. Calms it down, and it's a natural astringent. It contains vitamin C, and this will reduce and break any sort of breakout activity and reduce the amount of actual oils. And the avocado, even though it's high in avocado, it actually helps to regulate oil production in the skin. So it's a great thing to use. And basically I want to just encourage you that these are great things to use on your skin, and they'll help on a regular basis if you're using them. But it's very important at the same time to consider your diet and make sure that you're eating a diet that is going to encourage your skin to look its best. And that's something I'm going to be discussing with you a little bit later. So enjoy this process of putting masks on your face. Make sure you're in a quiet place. As I said, play some amazing music that makes you relax. Take the phone off the hook. Put your cell phone on airplane mode. You are not an emergency worker. And if you are, you shouldn't be putting masks on your face when you're on duty. So you just need to relax. If you've got a family, just say to them, I'm needing some quiet time. Everybody have quiet time. And in fact, if they don't know how to be quiet, put the mask on the whole family, and then they will be quiet, because they'll all want to sit there with their eyes wide open and their mouths shut. You will find some of the kids eating what's on their faces. So it's a wonderful way to pamper and look after yourself. And I want to encourage you to do at least one of these masks on a regular basis, at least once a month, if you can, every 2 weeks, and if you feel the need for once a week. Enjoy looking after yourself. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mary Ann. I am really excited to be adding these recipes to my skin experience this weekend, hopefully. So along with all of this, as well as high-powered walking, qigong, and even journaling, these are some of my own natural stress-reducing activities, which I find benefits me not only emotionally, but also with the quality of my skin. So just talking for a little bit now about looking at emotions and the skin, and as Dr. Arien mentioned earlier, this is just such a big and very important connection. Just think for a moment about blushing. Now, when you blush, it's due to a specific charge taking place in the brain, which immediately results in a reaction on your facial skin. So if this can happen so quickly and easily, you can just imagine the effects of long-term mental and emotional stress on the skin. Emotions don't just rile up in your brain, they confound on your skin. And when emotions, particularly when they're not dealt with, when they're suppressed, that's what triggers these long-term skin disorders. And I see this many times in my practice I deal a lot with eczema and psoriasis, and never before have I had a case of a skin issue not having an emotional component. And the hurt often comes from very deep down, and we often see other systems in the body being affected, liver and kidneys many times. Our organ functions are affected by our emotions. Anger is related to the liver, fear is related to the kidneys. And both of those are very often connected with skin issues such as psoriasis and eczema. And especially now in lockdown, I've been having more and more people coming in with just slight skin irritations, but things that they've never experienced before. And this is just an expression of our holistic being, our holistic body, and our emotional component talking to us and saying to us, there's an issue that's not being dealt with. And often it's hidden or it's blocked because we're trying to protect ourselves or even others, or there's just so much going on, there's overwhelm. So I work a lot with the buckflower remedies, which help to balance emotional and psychological states, and elm, one of the tinctures, which is for overwhelm, I've actually run out of quite a few times because of the incredible need for that. So looking after emotional triggers is just as important as supporting the physical body with the right nutrients for the skin. And of course, our nutrients are incredibly important. We need to look at both when supporting our holistic health. So when my son was a toddler and a young child, he struggled severely with eczema, and it took many years before I realized and understood the psychological side of this challenge. But of course I had to deal with it on a physical level as well. I used a lot of colloidal silver on his skin to treat the skin, and I incorporated healthy eating, which was largely influenced by Mary Ann Shearer's book, The Natural Way. So Mary Ann, back to you very briefly. Could you just share one or two highlights of nutrients that are a must in benefiting the skin, and perhaps one or two which are definite no-nos and would certainly challenge the skin?
I mentioned earlier on that eating, what you eat is very important, and everything you put in your mouth affects your skin. And the reason for that is everything you eat affects your endocrine system. And your endocrine system is the system that controls just about everything in your body, from all your hormones, your reproductive system, your heart, your kidneys, your lungs, your digestive tract, your immune system, your brain, your central nervous system, and of course your skin. The skin is controlled by the hormonal system. And I'm always amazed when a mother with a teenager says, you know, I've taken my son or my daughter to the skin specialist, and I asked him if what they're eating affects their skin at all. And he says, it's got nothing to do with what they eat. It's got to do with the hormonal system. And I'm like, that's the sad thing, is that most people in the medical profession have never studied nutrition and the effect that it has on the body. And honestly, if nutrition wasn't important, well, then we should just all stop eating and we'll be okay. But it's actually probably one of the most important things, because everything depends on what you put in your mouth. Your hormonal system must have natural things like essential fatty acids, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But we've got to have essential fats, we've got to have natural foods in our diet. We've got to be looking after our skins by looking after our body. Your skin reflects the condition that your health is in. So if you're breaking out and your skin is looking puffy, it's dull and lifeless, it's because of eating or what you're not eating as well. So let's start at the beginning, okay? It's your hormones are very important and they control your skin function. And everything you put in your mouth is going to have a positive or a negative effect on your skin. We don't think about it, but those cups of coffee that we're drinking, the caffeine has a terrible effect on the endocrine system, and that's going to affect your skin. You can see when people are regular coffee drinkers, their skin tends to be a lot more dull than somebody who's not consuming large quantities of caffeine all day long. So for decades, people have been saying that chocolate affects their skin, and the skin specialists have been saying that food does not affect the skin. And people, we all know growing up as a teenager, I knew that if I ate a chocolate or I ate something with a lot of sugar in it, I'd get specific pimples in this area, always in that area, and somebody else would get it in another area. So you could see that different foods very often affected your skin in different places. Sometimes you get a pimple on your nose, sometimes you get it on your chin, and it would usually be the same kinds of foods. So, of course, you know, chocolate companies will regularly release press releases telling us why chocolate's good for you and why you should be having it because it's full of antioxidants. And they'll tell us coffee's good because it's full of antioxidants, but so is tobacco leaves. Tobacco leaves are very high in antioxidants, but they're really not supposed to be in the human body. And I'm not going to tell you to give up coffee, but I am going to tell you that if you eat properly and you reduce the amount of these stimulants into the diet, your skin will look better. We know that caffeine not only affects the endocrine system, but it tends to dilate your little blood vessels. And when you keep dilating them like that, they start to break, and you can get those broken vessels on your cheeks. They're commonly caused from alcohol consumption and from caffeine consumption. And that's what they do. They dilate the little pupils, and they just literally, the blood just seeps out, and you're getting these broken blood vessels and these little spider veins all over. The good news is that I've seen when people take things out, alcohol and caffeine, that the skin does repair to literally to a point where doesn't look like you were consuming those things. It just takes time. I think that's the important thing, is so many people, you know, they're like, okay, I'm going to start eating properly and I'm going to sort out my skin. And 2 days later, their skin's not sorted out, or even 2 weeks later, or even 2 months later, everything's not sorted out. And they're like, oh, I've tried that. It doesn't work. Seriously? Most people only start paying attention to their diet at 30 or 40. So it's taken you 30 or 40 years for you to get your body or your skin into a certain condition. You can't undo that in 2 months. It takes 3 months to replace every single cell in your bloodstream. So at least the least that you need is 3 months. And it's one of the reasons why I came up with a program called 100 Days to Health, because it takes 100 days to start seeing some really serious changes in the body. And that's where we see people, you know, being told, oh, what have you done to your skin? It's looking amazing. Oh my word, you've lost some weight. Oh gosh, you know, you just, your whole face is looking different. That puffiness has gone out of your face. And it takes on average 100 days to get to a place where you see some dramatic change. And it's a profound program. We've now been doing it on Zoom as well, and in groups. And so everybody gets support. And if you're looking to find out more about the 100 Days to Health, you can just go to www.100daystohealth.com, or you can email us at info@naturalway.co.za. Right, so we need to take time. And on the 100 Days to Health, we teach you how to feed your body correctly so that it repairs itself. It repairs the skin, it repairs your bladder, it repairs your kidneys, it repairs the uterus, it repairs the brain. Your body can repair itself if you let it. And so we need to be putting the right kinds of foods into the body. And the right kinds of foods are the foods that help the endocrine system to work properly. That endocrine system being the system that controls absolutely everything in the body, including the skin. And number one at the top of the list of getting the hormonal system working properly is lack of essential fatty acids. Now we know that lack of essential fatty acids can, as I said, upset the endocrine system to the extent that you could end up being sterile or infertile, never mind having a skin problem. It's a very, very delicate system, and it needs to be looked after. A lack of essential fatty acids, the best essential fatty acids come actually from plant sources. Omega-6s are really easy to get. We get them in avocados, we get them in nuts and seeds, we get them in olive oil, we get them in corn on the cob. It's very easy to get avocados that I mentioned. Very easy to get omega-6s. Omega-3s, we don't tend to get enough for the kind of lifestyles we live. We live very stressed lifestyles, so we need more omega-3s than what we would get from a natural diet. So I always recommend that people take an omega-3 supplement that is from a plant source. And the reason I recommend that is because you need alpha-linolenic acid to make 5 different derivatives. And those have got fancy names like glucodonic acid and stearidonic acid. But the ones that we know of are EPA, which is number 3, and DHA, which is number 5. So this is your parent alpha-linolenic acid, which you're going to get from, let's say, flax oil or hemp oil. And then we convert it to glucodonic and stearidonic and EPA This is the child, the grandchild, the great-grandchild, and that's the great-great-great-grandchild. We need all 5 of these derivatives, and our body makes them naturally. So if we're getting EPA and DHA from fish oil, we've skipped the other 3, which your body needs to make. And your body can't work backwards. It can't make these from those 2. It could make that, but the problem with fish oil is it's so highly heated and highly processed that you actually can't make the 4th derivative that you need. So your best source is actually from a plant source, an organic, natural, cold pressed, and it's always best to have the oil blended with a little bit of other oils to balance the omega-3s to 6 so you don't overdose, because most people will overdose on omega-3s because they're just taking way too much of pure flax or hemp seed oil. So I recommend you take a blend, and then I do recommend that that blend is nitrogen flushed. Nitrogen flushed means they pump nitrogen in to displace the oxygen. When the oxygen leaves, there's no possibility of the oil actually oxidizing. And that's what you want. You don't want the oil to oxidize, otherwise it goes rancid. Fish oil, for example, goes rancid within 2 hours of the fish dying, and they haven't even extracted the oil from the leftovers of the fish, because of course they don't take the oil out of the flesh of the fish. It comes from the skin and the liver and the lungs and the brain, and all the eyes, and the skeleton gets mashed up and treated with chemicals and heat, and then they extract it, and then it gets sold to us, and it's not an ideal thing for us to take. It's actually, although it's supposed to cause anti-inflammatory, because of the heating process, it can, in some people, cause inflammation. It's also very high in cholesterol, which your flax oil is not, okay? So flax oil, nitrogen flushed, there's one on the market that I know of, and I can guarantee it's called Amiga, from a company called AIM, and it's in a capsule. They color the capsule with carob to keep it dark so that the light can't affect the oil at all. Wonderful, wonderful product to take. I recommend everybody takes at least 3 to 6 of those capsules on a daily basis to make sure that they're getting this full spectrum of essential fats needed for healthy skin. Right, now the other thing is lack of vitamins and minerals, things like beta-carotene, all your B-complex vitamins, all your antioxidants. Now, we know antioxidants are really powerful and they destroy free radicals. And free radicals are what cause aging. And who wants to age faster than they should? Who wants to age full stop? That's why people spend so much money on doing things to their skin to make it look better, from Botox to all kinds of things that they're adding and subtracting and stitching and cutting and pasting. At the end of the day, we've seen people do this to their faces. And the vast majority of people look like they've had stuff done to their face. Their eyes go a strange shape, and their face pulls in an unnatural way, and their mouth is not, just looks just off, and you can't quite figure what it is. So the best way for us to actually make sure that our body is functioning properly is to put the right food in, and then our skin works properly, okay? So lack of vital minerals, as I said, like beta-carotene and B-complex vitamins, and all our antioxidants are vitally essential. Now, we don't know everything that's in plants. We can take all the known antioxidants, the vitamin C, the beta-carotene, the B-complex, can take them all, mix them into a beaker in a laboratory, and we do not get a carrot. We don't. You cannot make a carrot in a laboratory. You've got to take a seed and plant it in the ground. And there's all these unknown factors that are still in there. We don't know everything about every single food. So we know that we need to be eating at least 5 to 11 portions. A portion is a loosely cupped hand like this. So that would be an apple and maybe 2 or 3 carrots in there, and a huge big bunch of spinach and green stuff. We need all the colors. We need red color, we need orange and yellow colors, and we need green colors. And we need green colors for chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a powerful neutralizer of heavy metals. It has got one of the most powerful healing properties. Green plants were traditionally used, mixed into a poultice, put onto wounds. If somebody's leg had a suppurating, oozing, rotting wound on their leg, this green poultice would invariably, you see it in the movies, the Red Indians make this poultice and they put it on. And in fact, that's based on folk medicine. Green things help to heal wounds. And it's now been found that one of the main things is the chlorophyll, and another one is an antioxidant that's super powerful called superoxide dismutase, also known as SOD. Now, SOD, what it does is it's very powerful, helps the body. It's not that SOD goes in and has a brain and knows what to do. It gives the body the antioxidants it needs to actually do the repair work and slow down the aging process. So you find the superoxide dismutase is highest in dark green leafy vegetables that have come from sprouted grains. So Dr. Yoshida Hagiwara was a Japanese pharmacist who worked with a lot of big pharmaceutical companies. He was exposed to a lot of heavy metals like mercury in the laboratory and suffered from really poor health. And then he found that chlorophyll was the most powerful neutralizer of these heavy metals in his body. And he started taking different vegetables, because not much green is found in fruit, lots of different leaves and different broccoli and wheatgrass juice and barley grass juice and all kinds of different things, spirulina. He tried everything, and he found the one food that was the highest in things like superoxide dismutase and chlorophyll was the sprouted leaf of barley grass. And he experimented with it a lot, and he found that it was most nutritious at a height of 15 centimeters. So if you cut it at that level, your nutritional level were the highest. There's only one company that I know that actually cuts the grass at that level and sprouts the barley, because it's the most nutritious. And they also spray dry it at room temperature. They harvest it at night. When the antioxidants can't be destroyed, they extract the juice in the harvesting machine. They dry it at room temperature when it gets to the factory, so there's no destruction of nutrients, and they put it in a jar. And that particular product is called Barley Life. Comes in a powder form and in a capsule form for people that don't like the taste. And honestly, if I had to mention one product that had the most profound effect on people's skins, I would say it's Barley Life. I've literally seen a young guy of 18 have acne, take it on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday when I saw him again, and his skin was completely clear. He looked like a different person in literally 3 or 4 days. I've seen it time and time and time again. It's a powerful, powerful, powerful food. It really helps the endocrine system and the skin function efficiently. So if I had to say take any supplement, there are 2 that I would recommend, and they're actually food. The one is the Barley Life, so you're getting the nutrients in its original form. When we start taking vitamins separated from the original sources, it's very difficult for the body to use it. And on average, we can use 4 to 10%. Depends on how they make it. Whereas if you're taking it in a food, like a dried juice, you can use 80 to 100%. So barley grass juice, Barley Life specifically, there are lots of barley products out in the market. But I was just looking up, somebody was asking me, could they take this barley product? And I had a look, and it's just the leaves dried and crushed and ground up. So you're just getting a whole pile of fiber and a little bit of nutrients. There's Barley Life, they've extracted all the juice. The fibers put one side, and they spray dry the powder like powdered milk. It's just powdered barley grass juice. So you're getting 98% nutrients and 2% of it is fiber. So you're getting a lot of nutrients, and that's why we see such a dramatic effect on the skin, because it's not only high in chlorophyll, it's super high in beta carotene, really high in natural iron, doesn't overload the kidneys or the liver with any of the nutrients because it's completely and utterly natural, okay? So what is also in sprouted green grass, when you take grains and you sprout them, and the highest again is the barley leaf, is something called a vitamin E succinate. It is a precursor to vitamin E. And what it does is, as well, has a very powerful effect on the hormonal system, the endocrine system. And that endocrine system, in case you've forgotten, is the system that looks after and manages the way the skin functions. So you've got these 3 things. You've got the chlorophyll, you've got the superoxide dismutase, and you've got the vitamin E succinate. And then the 4th thing is loads of beta carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin, which also helps with eyesight, and the B-complex vitamins in a natural form. If you take a B-complex in a vitamin supplement that's been extracted or manufactured, your urine turns bright, luminous yellow, and you just pee it straight out into the toilet. You can see it and smell it. But if you're taking it in a whole food, like barley grass juice, and you're drinking that, then you will find that your urine doesn't change color and your skin starts to benefit. Just everything starts to work properly. Now, taking Barley Life and Omega is fantastic for your skin, but you do need to eat properly too, because if you're taking your Barley Life, although I'm saying this, the nutrients that are in Barley Life actually help neutralize a lot of the toxins that we get from eating cooked meat and cigarette smoking and, you know, processed foods. And I hate telling people this because it's like, I'll just take my barley and eat what I want to. But if you really want your skin to glow and you really want to be in great condition, you need to eat properly. It's not that complicated to get your skin functioning properly. It really isn't. It's raw before cooked, remember that? Start reducing the amount of alcohol and caffeine in your diet. Increase the amount of fruit and vegetables by having that raw before cooked, but also including them as cooked. So if you're having a salad or some raw veggies and hummus before a meal, include some steamed broccoli and maybe some spinach or some mushrooms or anything else, artichokes, whatever you enjoy. Try and have 3/4 of your plate should be fresh fruits and vegetables, and then the other quarter can literally be whole grains or animal products in small quantities. We know that the people that live the longest and the healthiest and look the healthiest, just go online, look at the blue zone, and it'll describe their diet to you. They eat huge amounts of plant food, very small quantities occasionally of animal products in their diet. They live longer than anybody else, but they have superb health and their skins look amazing. And we're looking at average life expectancy over 100, at 104. Some of them are still water skiing, driving cars, riding their scooters, chopping wood, looking on their great-great-great-grandchildren. It's amazing to see. Just go on to Blue Zones on TED Talks and look for Dan Buettner and listen to what those people eat. And that's basically what you'll learn to eat on the 100 Days to Health. It's a great program that will help your skin improve dramatically. And at the end of the day, it's very sad that people do judge us on what we look at and what they see. The first thing people see is your eyes and your skin. That's what they see. And if you're not going to look after that, you're going to see dull eyes, dull skin, and no energy. First impressions do count, and we always spend a lot of money on our clothing, a lot on our nails, a lot on our eyebrows and our eyelashes, and then we forget to spend the money on putting the good things inside our bodies. So I want to encourage you, put the good stuff, the plant food, inside your body. Eat more of that. Your skin's going to glow. Remember, it's going to take time. Give it at least a good 3 months to you'll start noticing a difference. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mary Ann, for that valuable information. And Chad, I'm sure you resonated a lot with what Mary Ann had to share there in terms of your particular lifestyle that you live, that you lead, and that has resulted into a business for you, namely Dr. Falafel. But before we go into that, let's just chat for a moment about your experience of plant-based eating. How long have you been on this journey of largely plant-based eating?
Okay, so I've been on the journey for about 6 years. 6 years ago, I became vegetarian after watching a very interesting documentary called Earthlings, and it was just very interesting regarding the environmental, impacts. Obviously, I'm not going to go into, animal rights now, but, with regards to health, how important it was, to start eating healthier and giving the body foods that actually serve the body and not just the tongue. So for me, that was one of the most important contributing factors to me becoming a vegetarian. And about a year and a half ago, when Dr. Falafel started, I decided to go vegan. And, since then, I don't use the term vegan that much. Vegan is more in a sense of philosophy. I use the term plant-based. And plant-based because there's just so much amazing, healthy varieties of food that you can eat. When I became plant-based, I started, eating a variety of nuts and seeds and legumes and beets and, all the different colors, and food just became an amazing experience for me. I felt better, my skin looked better, and for the first time in my life, I actually, I got rid of a lot of the skin conditions that was with me since 13 years old, such as acne. Especially when I started, stopping the milk and the dairy products. Dairy for me, it's not necessarily, I don't want to say it's right or wrong eating anything, but dairy it's very rich. And because it's very rich, the body does not really know what to do with it. And, it's also filled with a lot of hormones, and generally, or in most cases, that hormones, the lymphatic system does not know how to drain that. And then obviously it manifests on the skin. When I quit dairy, my skin problems went away. And, when I go back to dairy now and again, because I will admit, although I'm plant-based, sometimes if my mom makes me a muffin, or if I go out and there's an item that has a little bit of dairy in it, I will eat it. And the next day, 90% of the time, I have some skin issues. So once you also quit dairy and once you become plant-based, and go back to dairy and meat again, you start to notice a significant, change in the body immediately. I think a lot of us, because we have been eating dairy and meat for such a long time, the body becomes used to it. All I to try to go plant-based, see how you feel, do it for about 2 weeks, and then start introducing dairy and meat back into your diet and see how it makes you feel. And I think you'll notice a sort of a change immediately, or something will happen. So it's very interesting. For me, it's not about quitting anything. It's about starting something, starting to eat healthy, and also experiment, see how the body works, see how you feel, pay attention. For me, that is the definition of consciousness. It's not stopping anything, it's starting something and just observing what happens.
And I like the reference that you gave to the variety that you're having in your eating experience now, that you are more plant-based as opposed to before, which I can just mention from my own experience. I had exactly the same, where I wasn't aware of the amazing options there are from plant-based eating, and how tasty all the different whole foods are, and the different combinations, and one really starts to get creative. So can you share with us one or two of your favorite recipes, maybe from Dr. Falafel, that we could also then experience? I want to then find out how we can go about engaging with Dr. Falafel.
Okay, so with regards to Dr. Falafel and with regards to being plant-based and being vegan, people think you're just eating lettuce and very healthy things. Look, with Dr. Falafel, I wouldn't say we're the healthiest plant-based brand, but we are a brand that in a sense has the philosophy to get people to transition onto a more healthier diet. A lot of people, they eat for the tongue, they eat for enjoyment, it's comfort, it's culture, and they enjoy the foods they eat. So when we started off, we started as Dr. Falafel Vegan Goods. Just by the name vegan, a lot of people were turned off. We changed it then to Dr. Falafel Plant-Powered People, and people liked it a bit more. And they started eating our meat alternatives. Our meat alternatives is actually our best sellers. We have chicken, we have fish, which we call the vish. We have bacon, which is vegan bacon. We also have ribs. And Helen, I must tell you, it's very, very close to meat. A lot of people say that's cheating, but I don't say it's cheating. For me, a big part of going plant-based is in a sense to enjoy what you're eating and not to change the experience. And 90% of our customer base, they are actually non-vegans, they're not vegan. So, to commercialize plant-based eating and veganism, we found the best strategy was to target meat eaters who would like a meat alternative, but go plant-based slowly but surely. People who are conscious and know that eating too much of one thing, such as meat and dairy, which is in all of our dishes or 90% of our dishes, is kind of transitioning, being a bit healthier, etc. So for me, I'm learning every day. We strategize, we chop, we change, we shift. And it's just a journey for me. I like to observe, I like to try new things. And in this time and age, innovation is everything.
So if we want to order from Dr. Falafel, can we do so? Where do you deliver to? How does it work?
Okay, so Dr. Falafel, at the moment, we just in the transition phase of we're also moving to a new venue. We actually just moved this week. We have 90% of our stuff in the store now. We actually moved to a beautiful place on Surface Corner called African Soul Surf. And we have a yoga studio. We have the Dr. Falafel brand. You can enjoy a vegan meal while watching the sunset and False Bay. You can't actually watch the sunset in False Bay, it would be the sunrise. And it's to order food. If you're living in a 5-kilometer radius, from Surface Corner, then you can order through Uber Eats, Mr. Delivery, or our very own delivery service that we just built called Dr. Delivery. And if you're further out, you're more than welcome to come pop in, come for a yoga class and enjoy a vegan burger. We even did the Cape Town style Gatsby. We have a full house Cape Town style vegan Gatsby, which has coleslaw, vegan cheese, it has chips, it has all your different meat alternatives, and it has 4 of our sauces. So at the moment, we're focusing mainly on vegan gourmet food, but we just got in a new chef and we're going to try to make it as healthy as possible. So now we're transitioning now from the transitioning market into a much more healthier market. So we're catering for everyone.
Dad, I think you need to stop there because I'm getting a bit hungry. Just listening to all your descriptions. I must definitely come and try one of your meals one day soon, which I will. And we're also going to be having a wonderful experience at your venue, which we'll chat about in a moment. But I need to get those last 3 steps from you, James, for your 5-step formula to youthful skin.
Thank you, Helen. And it's step 3 to make you look 5 to 10 years younger. Now, you know, as Helen said, the biggest discriminating factor in the workplace is aging. So step 3 is know your antioxidant status with the bio-photonics scanner. So on my slide, you can see a little picture there of the bio-photonics scanner, and it says, are you living young? Find out in 30 seconds. So on Chad's special day, I will bring the bio-photonics scanner to his premises and will scan 10 people for free. 3 radicals makes us old. Antioxidants neutralize free radicals, and knowing your antioxidant status will reveal whether you are getting younger or older. So examples of free radicals: blue light, UV light, air pollution, and normal body processes. Now, a plant-based antioxidants can delay the aging process by countering the breakdown of collagen fibers in the skin. So, do you want to stay forever young and disease-free? Have a high antioxidant score. Now we're going to the next slide. And I'm going to talk about foods that contain high antioxidants and also specifically about a specific supplement. And if we look at the best vegetables with high antioxidant value: artichokes, broccoli, olives, beetroot, kale, avocado, parsley, red onion, and asparagus. The best fruit for high antioxidants: berries, cherries, and apples. The best nuts for high antioxidants: chestnuts, pecan nuts, almonds, chai, and flax seeds. The best herbs and spices for high antioxidants: cloves, oregano, turmeric, thyme, ginger, curry powder, cinnamon, sage, coriander, sage, basil, capers, mint. Other products: dark chocolate, green tea, and peppermint tea. And supplement with supplements that have proven high antioxidant value. And if I can show you the Life Pack Nano and the Life Pack Plus, these are very specific supplements that have buyback guarantee. If you scan before and after, if your antioxidants do not go up, the company will refund you in full. Now let's go to the next slide. And this is very new for me, and also I'm very impressed with the technology that is now available. And step 5 is use skincare products that contain bioadaptable botanicals. There are certain botanicals that thrive in harsh condition climates like Siberian ginseng, Rhodiola rosea, marl root extract, changa mushroom extract, and the resurrection plant extract. And very important, French red bell pepper extracts. Now, skincare products that contain bioadaptive botanicals like NutriEssentials can increase resiliency to negative effect of stress, pollution, and free radicals. Now, the red bell pepper extract is a natural protector against infrared and blue light. Now, my concern nowadays is really blue light, because often we are on our mobile phones, on Facebook and other social media platforms. We work many hours daily on our PCs, and then at night we spend hours watching Netflix. And these devices all radiate blue light. And what we now know is that blue light activates free radical production in the skin. And French red bell pepper extract is a natural protector against blue light. And not many skincare products contain French red bell pepper extract. So if you use any skincare product, please make sure that you use a skincare product that protects your skin against blue light. Now, ultimately, it is important for us to look younger for longer. So my advice to you is start today. I wish you eternal youth inside and within. And if you need any more information on the products or the devices, you are most welcome to contact myself or Helen. And Helen, thank you for the opportunity to speak to your audience on this platform. I wish you all eternal youth and health. Thank you.
Thank you so much, James, for that wonderful information and all the tips on what to eat, what to focus on. So moving on from your antioxidant suggestions, I'm going to pose one of our questions for the competition to be coming from Dr. James's antioxidant information. So if you'd like to enter our wellness competition, where you can win one of the many prizes as mentioned in the beginning. I'll be chatting again about one of them in a moment. But to enter that, please name 3 vegetables that are high in antioxidants. And you can post your comments, your answers in an email and send them through to me, Helen, at thelongevity.co.za. And you can also post them below in the comment box below. And we will choose winners from the comment box, winners from the emails, winners from our longevity challenge as well on Facebook who completed that, to win one of the many prizes sponsored by our sponsors, by our speakers. And then one of the fabulous prizes, as mentioned earlier, is a free ticket to the first longevity experience taking place end of this month, 26th of September in Muizenberg at Chad's venue. That is African Soul Surf Cafe in Muizenberg. Is that correct, Chad?
It's called the African Soul Surf. If you Google it, you can also find it under vitamin C. That is the health store that's at African Soul Surf. Okay,
brilliant. Thank you. So your experience will involve arriving and receiving a beautiful smoothie, and then going into a yoga class presented by Chad, and I'm going to be giving a workshop on different kinesiology techniques to boost the immune system and also lower stress. Dr. Arien will be giving a presentation on epigenetics and longevity. And then James, you're going to be there with your bio-photonics scanner. So just quickly describe to us, what is the experience with the scanner? What can people expect? Do you feel anything? How long will it take? What can we expect?
I'm going to scan 10 people for free. It's a 30-second experience. We require no blood. And before I scan people, I will disinfect the scanner. And afterwards again, so people don't have to worry about any contamination with the coronavirus. I have all my protocol in place to keep the client safe. So once the scan has been completed, we know 3 things. We know what is your nutritional status. We also know if you take supplements, whether those supplements serve you and they supply the body with ample antioxidants. And just like a general well-being score. So all these measurements will slot in with the daily activities that we are going to have there, which is wellness, longevity, and to look gorgeous for longer. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you so much, James. That sounds very, very exciting to be able to get information like that so quickly. So if you're able to join us in Muizenberg in Cape Town on the day, we are taking 10 people and the value is 500 Rand. But if you're not able to be in Cape Town, we are going to be recording the experience and we will have that available for a nominal fee, and we will have more information up on our social media platforms about that. But of course, we'll be sharing all of this in our newsletter. So we will send a direct link to everybody on the newsletter so you can read more about this event, the longevity experience, sign up for it. And if you haven't become part of our newsletter as yet, please do so by going to thelongevitycode.coza. So thank you to all our wonderful speakers here today who have generously taken time out to share their valuable insights and expertise with all of us, as well as sharing their wonderful and very generous gifts in our competition. I hope that you'll be able to make use of some, if not all, of what you have learned today. And in closing, Dr. Arien will be sharing an inspirational message for loving the skin you're in.
Yes, just to sort of encourage people, all of us, that we have to look after our skin, and not that it becomes a huge job or something, but to look forward to having a lovely, smooth, healthy skin from the inside out. And that's also why I actually developed Youthful Living as a whole program of looking at beauty within, beauty without, and beauty of being is like looking, what can I do to change into becoming a healthy, wholesome, loving human being, which is actually our natural state. And we often forget that our natural state is to be healthy and that our bodies want to be healthy. We are supposed to get to 120 years at least, and it's said, and it's mainstream research, it's not just what I say, but it's said that we can even now, there are people already born who will become 200 years of age. So we've got to do our bit to help the process and not believe that aging is inevitable, because it's not. So the younger you start with your youthful living process, even in your teens and 20s and 30s, will make sure that you have a healthy and body that functions perfectly well within your hundreds, if you want to get to that age. But thank you very much, everybody, and all the best for your healthy skin lifestyle.
Thank you, Dr. Arien, for those inspiring words. And if anybody would like to go and view any of our speakers' websites or get in touch with them directly, we're sharing with you now on your screen the different websites of our health and wellness practitioners that have taken their time to share their valuable information with all of us here today. So please do take a moment to go and see more of what each of these amazing speakers has to share with you. And of course, they have so much valuable info, not only with regard to the skin, but general health and well-being. So happy browsing and happy healthy living.